Today we're going to take a look at Billabong's 43mm SG5 wetsuit. What we have here is a wetsuit that's constructed of 100% ZG400 super stretch neoprene that is lightweight and really stretchy. What we're looking at here as far as seam construction is the seams were first glued together and then they were blind stitched, and then an impact welded seam was put on the exterior and portions of the interior around the wrist and the ankle of the seam. So you've got a great welded seam. This is a watertight seam, as well as adding another layer of durability to the seam. What we're looking at here is one of the warmest, stretchiest wetsuits that are on the market. We've got on the front of the suit a mesh skin panel that's both wind resistant and water repellent. And speaking of water repellent, this is one of the few wetsuits on the market that's 100% water repellent neoprene. So if water were to be on here, it would bead and drip right off. It's really amazing. And you can imagine when you have a nylon coating on neoprene that doesn't absorb water, you stay much warmer. In the neck, I want to show you the roll collar that's been integrated. So this neoprene rolls, and that helps prevent rashing as well as creating a really comfortable seam around your neck. So this glide skin material sticks to your skin and it creates a seal. If we take a look at the wrist, we'll see these strips put on the interior. This is to help keep the wrist in place at the wrist and not coming up as we move around. And it also helps prevent the gasket around the wrist from blowing out, from putting our big hand in there time and time again. So it helps bring it back into shape. And you'll see those gaskets also here at the wrist of the wetsuit. Again, let's take a look at the interior of this wetsuit. On the exterior, before I move on, this is actually called a solar mesh panel. So it's a mesh skin panel that's wind resistant and water resistant, but it also is proprietary technology that when heat or sun actually hits this, it actually retains the heat, acting like a solar panel. If we look here at the back of the suit, you'll see some pinholes, and I'll show you what those are. So what we have here in the back is a water barrier. This is called Billabong's Dry Max entry. So if water were to penetrate this waterproof zipper, you would have another layer of 1mm neoprene between the back of the wetsuit and your skin. And if water were to come, it would penetrate out these two pinholes. So pretty amazing. Again, this wetsuit, to reiterate, is zero gravity 400 Superflex neoprene. It's the lightest, most flexible material available on the market. The furnace lining I was talking about is on the back of the wetsuit here, as well as the front chest of the wetsuit, and it's a lining that retains heat. Let's see. So what we also have here on the interior is on critical seams, we have spot taping. So there's actually a piece of round spot taping here on these intersections, as well as that impact weld being put on externally and internally on critically welded seams for a watertight and flexible seam. Again, you'll see the glide skin on the neck as well. And again, when you get in the wetsuit through the top, you can place this over your neck, and again, it creates a nice Dry Max entry. So this wetsuit comes in a couple different colors. You've got the solid black here, which we're looking at. You also have a dark charcoal gray accent on the shoulder of the SG5, and you'll see the back of the charcoal gray as well. One more thing I want to draw your attention to is that there are no seams in the back of the wetsuit, and what this actually creates is no stress on the back, so you can really stretch out and get comfortable doing your sport. If you're straddling, you can see that there, you have a lot of stretch. And another thing to look at is that there are no seams in the design of the underarms, and you can maximize your stretch. One of the coolest wetsuits we offer at pleasuresports.com. If I left anything out, you can find it on pleasuresports.com.